Hey guys, it's coreross and welcome to the 6 News Roundup. So normally these Roundup videos are on the dedicated 6 News channel, but today I thought we'd bring it to the coreross channel. But on Sunday we'll be doing another Roundup and that will be on the 6 News channel. So let's go over all the information we currently have on the brand new attacker and defender for Rainbow Six Siege's new season, which is called Shifting Tides, which brings us an Indian operator and a Kenyan operator. So of course I did an in-depth analysis of the trailer that we got released, which is all about the gadgets. However, we have seen a lot of additional information coming out afterwards as well. So let's go through everything we currently have on these new operators. So the trailer shows us the CSRX 300 sniper rifle. This is bolt action with a custom scope. I'm guessing it's going to have obviously some sort of magnification. If it's a proper sniper, it should have different magnification types. I'm not exactly sure how well that would work in Siege. And because it's bolt action, I'm going to guess that she has a fully automatic sidearm as well. So I'm hoping that will be the case. And it has an underslung grenade launcher, which actually fires the Gadget, which is explosive. So I guess we could actually call it a proper grenade launcher almost. I wonder how it'll be affected by actually hitting a player. Now, what I've actually done is I've created this artwork, which I pieced together from the trailer, photoshopped it all together to make a one big image of this brand new sniper rifle. So if you want this, there's going to be a link in the description below where you can actually go to the Reddit post where I've posted this and check it out if you want it. It looks really nice. It's a badass sniper rifle. I think I'm getting quite a lot of Halo kind of vibes from it. Maybe that scope is what's doing it, I don't know. It's got that kind of modern kind of aesthetic. It does look like a real life sniper rifle too, but I don't know if it's, you know, because they've told us that getting licenses sometimes is quite complicated. So I don't know if it's a custom one they've created or if it's based on the frame of a real sniper rifle. Yeah. But there we go, that is the full image of this sniper rifle that you can check out. Of course, this sniper rifle can penetrate multiple layers of non-reinforced walls, so it's going to be incredible for, say, someone pinging an enemy location with a drone and then you getting someone actually snipe through the wall at them. That could be pretty insane. However, I remember testing back quite a long time ago, looking at how many walls you could actually find that are destructible after each other, and there's a lot of map design where there's only usually 2, maybe 3 at a push, not so many that are like 3 or 4. So I would be very surprised if there's many maps where you can actually pull that off. But it's going to be insane to be able to shoot through multiple soft walls in one go from range. That's going to be just brilliant. With these little trailers, there's always really cool stuff. I did like it when we used to have one trailer for attacker, one trailer for defender. I kind of miss that. Having them lumped together makes it a bit too information rich for me. I'd love to see a trailer per day rather than just one. But on these destructible walls, it's quite interesting. We've got the kind of Mira R&D logo, but we also have what looks to be like an old computer style design, you know, with the tape decks at the top. And that is, you know, I don't know why. Is that kind of calling back to just old technology, part of Mira's past maybe? Very interesting to see that there. But of course, we know that in Rainbow Six Siege, having a dedicated sniper whose job is just being a sniper is not very good. It's not a good idea, doesn't work very well, and as such, glass has been a big issue. Whereas this operator actually has a proper gadget, some utility, which means they're not just a sniper, they actually bring something to the field that can be very useful, and that is the LV Explosive Lance. Now this gets fired from the underslung grenade launcher actually on the sniper rifle. Probably the first time I remember ever seeing an underslung grenade launcher on a sniper rifle before. I don't know if that's a thing at any time. So I've actually isolated some of the graphics here. So this is what the projectile looks like when it gets launched. This is what it looks like when it actually hits an object. So the back spreads out to kind of grab onto the wall so that the explosive part can actually pierce through. So it can go through reinforced walls. We see that in the actual trailer, and I expect that you can do this on soft walls as well. Because of those kind of arms at the back, I expect on soft walls it'll stop too. So going to be very good for just blowing up a whole bunch of stuff and causing some potential real damage to gadgets, but not to players. So we got a blog post which actually goes over some of the abilities of this gadget and along with the defender's gadget as well. What's interesting is that Mira in this case had no actual input into the device. This is something that the operator brought complete There's no kind of Mira tweaking of it. She's simply testing it in this trailer. So she has actually no control over any improvements or anything at all, which is a new thing for Rainbow Six Siege. Normally, in the last while, Mira has been kind of the basis of a lot of the technology we've seen, whereas in this case, she actually has no input on the attacker and the defender from this season. So Mira talks about the device and its explosive capabilities. She says that it shreds gadgets nearby, however it doesn't actually do much damage to players. So I'm guessing it will do a little bit of damage, but it may be just something like 10 damage and that'll be all. And yeah, pretty significant. I wonder what the explosive radius on this thing will be and how much gadgets it can potentially take out, because if it has a decent radius, it could blow up quite a lot of very important gadgets very, very quickly. Now, a big question for me about this attacker is, who is the counter? So of course, Bandit isn't, because we see this whole thing electrified with 6 Bandit batteries and this device goes off fine. So will a mute jammer stop it? You know, is there any way to actually stop this device? Because it actually pokes through and pops out the actual inside of the reinforced wall, it is possible maybe the defenders can just simply shoot it. Even maybe Jaeger's active defense system can zap it if it comes through. I don't know, but yeah, like, it doesn't seem like there's much of a counter, because Kaid and Bandit will not be able to destroy it with electrified effects. That's really powerful for this new sniper. She also mentions that the new Defender gadget, which grabs gadgets out of the air and actually detonates them, actually grabs this out of the air as well. And she says that this can be very bad for the defenders because the gadget can grab it, pull it in and detonate it, and then completely destroying all the friendly gadgets nearby. So you might be able to drone out an objective, see that the new guy has a thing sitting there, and you can just fire one straight through a hole in the wall or through a door. The thing will grab it, pull it down, and potentially wipe out a whole bunch of gadgets for you really easily. So gonna be curious to see how this gadget plays out in game, and it sounds complicated, which is what I like about Rainbow Six gadgets. That's the best ones, so loving this. We also of course got to see the operator icon as well, which kind of reminds me of an owl with a third eye or something like that, and that might play into the actual icon that we see on our sniper rifle too, because that is an owl, but I don't entirely know at this moment in time. And of course, from the demonstration, we get to see this thing flying through the air. It looks really cool. More than likely, you'll be able to shoot it out of the air if you're really, probably quite lucky. And you can also see that it kind of embeds itself and penetrates reinforced walls before then detonating, destroying gadgets around it. Of course, in this example, one reinforced wall is being electrified by 6 Bandit batteries. And unfortunately, we don't get to see how effective it actually is. It cuts out before we see how many batteries it destroys. I'm curious if it only destroys gadgets on the inside of the defender's wall, or if it also can do some damage outside as well. You know, it's just curious because this thing is going to be able to do some serious penetration and destruction. Now, thanks to the Ubisoft YouTube channel, we also have a few extra details, which is underneath the description for this trailer for the video, and it's the only place I've seen it. So the description starts by talking about the LV explosive lance and the sniper rifle, but then it says, can breach barricades and hatches. Now, this is interesting because it doesn't say shoot. It doesn't say, you know, something that the sniper rifle might do. It says breaches. So of course, I expect the sniper rifle, just like Glass, to be able to shoot out floor panels, but it might be also possible for this gadget with its explosion to knock out an entire floor panel by itself. That also means, does it have the explosive potential to make a hole in a soft wall? So say the size of an impact grenade, something you can actually vault through. Might give this gadget even more complexity and could be really interesting to see how this plays out. It also lets us know how the Defender's gadget works too. It actually pulls in a projectile and then it self-detonates, so it can only capture one thing. Talking about the Defender's gadget, it is the magnet system. So of course a little play on words there, and pretty cool. And it is basically just a magnet. It grabs onto objects and pulls them in. The actual blog post lets us know that it can grab onto Capitol's asphyxiation bolts. Now, that's actually not the correct name. Not long ago, they were actually renamed to fire bolts. But that's amazing, right? Because imagine that you're Capital, you've droned out the objective, you've seen one of these devices is sitting on the floor, and a defender is right next to it. So you could literally fire your asphyxiation bolts or fire bolts in through a doorway. your bolt would then take a left-hand turn, for instance, go over to this device grabs it, sets it off, and the whole place lights up in fire, killing the defender that you've seen on the drone. That could be amazing. Like, that's some amazing plays, and I can't wait to see what a kill cam for that would look like. And damn, that's some complexity, and it means this Jaeger player can't be just simply chucking stuff around. He's going to have to think about every place he places one of these devices, so that is going to be insane. Of course, we'll have to myth bust that when it comes to the release of this new season, which will probably be on the test server on Tuesday, so not long at all to wait. And it also says that it grabs the LV explosive lance out of the air as well. This makes me think that Jaeger might not destroy that gadget, and it might just be one that this guy can do. Again, the bad side about that is if the defender actually places this in a bad spot, it could wreck the whole defense by blowing up a whole bunch of the friendly gadgets. So yeah, going to be a complicated, he's a more complicated Jaeger. Most Jaegers, let's be honest, don't actually bother to put down their gadget. They just run away and try to spawn camp. So this is definitely a more intelligent Jaeger player, I think, that will actually be playing this, and I think that's a good thing. It's going to be a lot of complexity to this operator and the attacker as well. It also lets us know that frags and Ash's breaching round will also be grabbed by this, and of course in the trailer we see Zophia's grenade launcher firing stuff in as well, and that being grabbed. I wonder if there will be exceptions, so if he can grab Capital firebolts, then it's possible Jaeger will be able to catch something that this guy can't, and we'll have to obviously figure out what that is. Mira also mentions that if you're a reckless attacker, you could end up blowing yourself up. So for instance, say Sledge comes up to a door, whacks the door, pulls out a frag grenade, throws it. Maybe there's a little device just, sitting behind him on a wall that he hasn't seen. The grenade gets grabbed out of the air, pulled back, and detonates right next to him, potentially killing himself. So again, makes this guy really complicated to play, and it means that he's potentially a threat to his own defender team, but also potentially a threat to attackers if he gets really smart with how he places them and where he places them. So yeah, this is exciting. I'm really enjoying the complexity of both of these operators, if you haven't guessed already. So it's going to be more important than ever to drone out these gadgets, and of course IQ will probably be able to detect them, and she will be a very powerful counter to begin with. Also, I expect, of course, EMPs are going to be very useful. So Sacher, and this is the thing, even though Thatcher's getting a potential replacement here, I think he's getting a potential buff, because this device grabs and pulls in a gadget. So you could throw a Thatcher grenade into an objective, it would then get grabbed by this device, pulled over to it, and detonated, potentially in a really nice spot for a Thatcher grenade to go off. So yeah, interesting. And from that YouTube description, we also get to know that this is indeed an adhesive device, so we're going to be able to throw it and stick it to all kinds of surfaces, all kinds of areas, which is going to be really potentially very powerful. I wonder how many he gets. Like, does he get 3, 4, 6? Because this thing, it can only capture one thing. So I'm curious how that's going to work out. It could also be something like Legion, where if he's alive longer, he gets more and more of them. That would be kind of interesting. And the radius in the trailer seems to be massive. If it's this big in game, that is going to be really powerful. And I love how it just kind of grabs and holds on to those, grenades that get fired in, and then pulls them over and of course detonates them. Really freaking cool. Now we also get to see this operator's icon as well in this trailer, and when I first seen it I thought it looked like an alien head, but other people have pointed out that it looks like a dude meditating, which looks much better. But the problem is, and I'm about to ruin this entire season for you, when I look at this logo it looks like an alien head with a dick on the top. So yeah, I can't get it out of my head, and maybe you guys are now stuck with it too. Sorry. Now let's talk about the artwork at the end. So of course this is going to be revealed on Sunday. I'll be covering it. I'll be making videos on this channel, and I'll have a roundup on the 6 News channel as well. But let's talk about the artwork, because it is very reminiscent of Black Ice. The stylization is so similar. Now what I'd love to see is a Black Ice skin redone in this season that is potentially even better than Black Ice, because we got this water effect, we've got this really nice kind of colouring which could totally fill into a beautiful Black Ice style. You know, and we're getting Jaeger 2.0, we're kind of getting Sacher 2.0. What about giving us Black Ice 2.0? So I'm hoping there'll be a really nice seasonal skin that will, you know, be one of the best ever. I hope anyway. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you with the full trailer now that you can watch if you haven't seen it already. And thank you very much for watching.
Testing stopping power, CSRX 300. Biometrics disabled. Commencing test now. That's going to sting. Disruption test LV explosive lance. Repositioning auxiliary walls. Launching on my mark. Mark. A little dramatic, but it does the job. Projectile interception test, magnet system. Let's see how you stack up to the magpie. Collateral damages within acceptable parameters. Marius will have to find some other way to prevent the magnet's deployment.